The old man always warned me about the woods, but I wanted to find out why. When I was a kid, I lived in a small town surrounded by a dense forest. The adults always warned us not to go too far into the woods. It wasn't just the usual stay safe talk. It was serious. They said the woods had a life of their own. They were dangerous. But like most kids, I brushed it off. Who believes in old myths, right? One afternoon, my friends and I were bored, so we decided to explore the forest. We'd heard rumors about an old cabin hidden deep within, and we were determined to find it. As we walked toward the edge of the woods, an old man appeared from nowhere. He was hunched over, with a long, tangled beard and tattered clothes. His eyes were sharp, his gaze cold. "Where are you kids headed?" he asked, his voice raspy but stern. "Just checking out the woods," I said, trying to sound nonchalant. The old man frowned, stepping closer. "You don't want to go in there," he warned, his tone suddenly serious. "The woods, they're not what they seem." I laughed, trying to brush it off. "What's the worst that can happen?" His face twisted into something almost sad. "There are things in those woods. Things that take what they want and they don't give it back. Not ever." I could see my friends getting impatient, urging me to ignore him and move on. So, with a half-hearted smile, I told him we'd be fine, and we continued toward the trees. The air grew colder as we entered the forest. The trees were thick, and the sunlight barely broke through. The deeper we went, the quieter it became. No animals, no wind, just an unsettling silence. We finally found the cabin. It was run down, with vines crawling up its rotting walls. As we pushed the door open, a chill ran down my spine. The air inside was thick with dust, and strange symbols were carved into the walls. The atmosphere was wrong, as if something was waiting for us. I explored deeper, my friends still outside, and that's when I heard it. The whispers. Soft at first, then growing louder. My heart pounded as I realized the voices weren't from my friends. They were coming from everywhere, the walls, the floor, the air itself. I turned to leave, but the door slammed shut on its own. My hands scrambled for the handle, but it wouldn't budge. The whispers turned into words, and they were calling my name. "You shouldn't have come. You shouldn't have come back." In a panic, I turned around and saw someone in the corner. The old man. But his eyes were hollow, his skin pale. He stepped forward, speaking in a voice that chilled me to my bones. "You should have listened," he whispered. Suddenly, the door opened. Without thinking, I bolted, running through the woods, not daring to look back. When I finally stumbled out of the trees, I realized something. The woods had changed me. The woods had marked me. I don't know what happened in there. I don't know what the old man meant. But I do know one thing. I won't ever forget his warning. The woods never forget. And now, neither do I.